What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. I was reading here lately, 3 things that could stop the Clippers from winning the championship this season. Now, I was looking at clipperholics.com, reading other couple sites as well, and you can see some of these clutch points and a few other sites where, things are talked about where the Clippers have concerns. Now, of course, the number one to me always, as I've always spoke on, is the health issues. Health issues is definitely got to be number one for the Clippers because the last several years, actually, since they've been assembled between Kawhi and PG and the rest of this crew, they've had multiple health issues between the two and other players on the team that was detrimental to their success in regards to winning a championship, going further in the playoffs. And the most recent, of course, was Kawhi going down, which was about a year or so ago against the Utah Jazz, where the Clippers definitely, I think, would have won the NBA championship or bare minimum made the finals over the Suns if they had Kawhi Leonard, because definitely Kawhi is that type of guy, and he is the guy who can put a team over the hump, especially, when a team is, flailing and they're not, exceeding expectations or playing up to the level of expectation. Kawhi can definitely put a team on his back and carry him to the promised land. We've seen him do that before, so we know he's definitely capable of doing it. And he definitely is capable of doing it with this team because this team has a lot more talent than some of the other teams he's played on that he's won championships with. One other team anyway, not the first one, the Spurs. They definitely had more talent with, the big three they had on there, plus a young Kawhi Leonard. But nevertheless, they still, needed Kawhi Leonard to win the championship. But regardless of that, the point that's being made here is the Clippers' health has been an issue, and we all know that. And this is the reason why I stress almost every video. I hope they stay healthy. I really do, because what I get tired of seeing is teams who have a lot of talent, who can win it all, who have a chance to advance in the playoffs and play at a high level, and don't find a way to do it because of injury, or injury being the cause of them not having an opportunity to move forward to see how good this team could be or how great they can become. So I really hate to see that, especially with teams that got all the talent in the world and all the pieces to do it. It's just not conforming together because of health issues, which is always a big thing when it comes to sports. But, we definitely understand it, but we definitely hate it at the same time. So, my point is this, the Clippers definitely, if they can stay healthy, of course the sky's the limit for them. And if they can stay healthy and if they keep the same team, they could possibly win it this year and the next season because they just got that good of a roster. Now, in regards to another instance or another one of the topics that we're talking about that can hold them back from winning a championship is chemistry. Now, chemistry is definitely a big one for me because I've always talked, and said chemistry is what makes championships teams go. That's a championship team who has chemistry, because chemistry puts you over the hump when you're playing against teams who got more talent than you, but everybody on the team is more acclimated and more used to one another, and they understand one another better, and they gel a lot better on the court. And that's what happened to the Clippers against the Denver Nuggets a couple seasons ago. The Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray and Jokic have played together before. They've played together through series. Matter of fact, the series before they played the Clippers against Utah, they were down in that series 3-1 also and came back and won that series. So they built chemistry playing with each other throughout a few seasons. And on top of that, they went through a situation with Utah in the playoffs before they played the Clippers in the bubble, and they found their way, through to win that one. And, like I said, chemistry goes a long way when you understand one another on the court and you know where each other likes to score certain spots. All those things go hand in hand. All those things really amount huge when you're trying to, win championships. So I think that the Clippers chemistry definitely needs to be built to the highest because, first of all, Kawhi hasn't played with John Wall. He hasn't played with Robert Covington. It's a few people on the team he hasn't played with. And on top of that, technically he's still trying to build more chemistry with Paul George. And, they haven't been on the floor together as much as people would have liked. But, this could be the season they'd be on the floor more together where they can build amongst one another also. So with that being said, we have to see, whether they can do that or not, because it starts with those two. If those two get the chemistry that they really need to put themselves over the hump and turn it up a notch, other players will follow on the team. That's just the way it goes. So, it starts with those two and it trickles down, going forward from there, because, the chemistry that they have to build one another in regards to understanding one another on the floor, they have to understand on both sides of the floor, not just offense. They have to understand each other and be collectively, ready to play and understand each other on defense as well, calling out picks, setting, whoever's setting screens, call out picks, if somebody's, cutting to the basket, have somebody there waiting for them to cut them off. You see what I'm saying? Have somebody in the paint to box out when that shot goes up. They have to communicate on the floor, on the defensive end, rotate, switch, all that. They have to do these things to a high level if they want to win a championship, because it's going to take a lot, because the West is stacked, the West is tough, and it's not going to get any easier going forward. And of course, last but not least, as I already kind of alluded to, number 3 topic in regards to what was being talked about that can stop the Clippers from winning championship is more competition. Because as I said, in other videos, their competition is very high this season. They got, Jamal Murray coming back with the Denver Nuggets with Jokic. Pelicans, with Zion coming back, Ja for another season, the Splash Brothers, along with Draymond. Then you got Devin Booker, along the Phoenix Suns. They're going to look for revenge. You got Luka Doncic getting another year under his belt, getting better. Just added Christian Wood from, the Houston Rockets. And then, the Timberwolves are up and coming young team as well. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of competition out there, a whole lot. And, like I said, the Clippers are going to have to be prepared for all this, because, it's not going to get any easier for them. And as the season goes on, it's going to get tougher, and they're going to find themselves maybe going through a couple game losing streak, pretty much like a lot of teams do throughout the season, which is pretty normal. And they're gonna have to find their way, and they're gonna have to find a way to adjust during the season. So make adjustments as you go. And the good thing for the Clippers, in their favor, they got Ty Lue, arguably the best coach in the league, who's good at making adjustments and who's good at figuring things out and allowing his team to flourish, by letting them freestyle and figure it out on their own, along with guiding them along the way and making adjustments when needed. Ty Lue is excellent at doing that. And that's why I feel like a lot of players feel comfortable playing for him, because he gives you the opportunity to play freely, but also play smart, is what he expects from you when the time comes where, you have to execute plays at a high level and be at your best. And that's what he expects out of his players. And I think his players respect him for that, by the way he goes about doing his business with his players and allowing them to, get comfortable and flourish in their own way on their time. So, with that being said, the Clippers do have an advantage there. So hopefully they actually use that to their advantage, because they're going to need all the luck and all the everything to go their way if they really want to find a way to win a championship, because it just takes a lot to win a championship. You can't just have great talent. You got to have chemistry, and you got to have luck happen as well. There's a lot of luck that goes into winning championships at times. So, everything just needs to go the Clippers' way. And hopefully it does. But, hopefully they stay healthy as well, and see how their season really could pan out, and see how much they really can get out the season. Because I think if they stay healthy throughout the season, I think they could be the number 1 seed in the NBA. I think they have a good enough team to do that during the regular season and go into playoffs and win it. So, we'll see what happens. We're not going to, say too much right now, because the season hasn't started. So we have to see how everything goes. I want to see Kawhi Leonard on opening night. If that's true, based upon what I'm hearing, that he'll be ready for opening night. That'll be great. Everybody will be ready to go. Or, as long as everybody, is healthy enough to play in this season and get going and get acclimated and build their chemistry and, succeed these 3 things, or these 3 so-called things that can hinder them from winning a championship, and what the sites are talking about, if they can get past those, well, of course, they definitely probably win a championship. So let's just see what happens, and let's just see how it pans out for them, because it can definitely be a big season, definitely be, epic for them. And I know they're wishing for that, to just so they can shut up their naysayers and their doubters, and, live a comfortable life knowing that they, won a championship for a part of a big establishment like here in California, in LA. They won a championship for LA, which is the other side of LA, simply because the Lakers have won multiple championships on their end. Now they'd be able to say, hey, we actually won a championship too. We're not one of the teams in the NBA who's been around all these many years and didn't win one. They could say then, hey, we found a way to execute the plan. We found a way to win a championship through all the adversity, through everything, and we found ourselves being the last man standing. So that'd be a great accomplishment for the Clippers. Hopefully they'd be able to do it, but only time will tell. So let's see how it goes. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.